You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
Tu es l'image de Dieu.
I hold you in my heart.
Tu es l'image de l'amour.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
Tu sei la luce di Dio.
I hold you in my heart.
Tu sei il volto dell'amore.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of love. The face of love. I hold you in my heart. You in my heart. You are my family. You are my family. You are the face of love. The face of love. You are the face of love. The face of love. I hold you in my heart. You in my heart. You are my family. You are my family. You are the face of love. The face of love. You are the face of God. The face of God. I hold you in my heart. You in my heart. You are a part of me. A part of me. You are the face of God. The face of God. You are the face of God.
Eres la luz de Dios.
I hold you in my heart.
Eres la cara del amor.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face
Tu
of
sei la luce di Dio.
You are the face
You
of
are the
God.
face of God.
You are the face
Tu
of
es
God.
l'image de Dieu.
You are the face
You
of God.
are the face of God.
You are the face
Tu
of
sei
God.
la luz de Dios.
You are the face
You
of God.
are the face of God.
You are the face
Tu
of God.
ruh خدایی.
You are the face
You
of God.
are the face of God.
You are the face of God.
Eres la luz de Dios.
You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
Tu es l'image de Dieu.
I hold you in my heart.
Tu es l'image de l'amour.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
Tu sei la luce di Dio.
I hold you in my heart.
Tu sei il volto dell'amore.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of love.
are the face of love.
I hold you in my heart. You are my family.
You are my family.
You are the face of
the face of love.
You are the face of love.
The face of love.
I hold you in my heart.
You in my heart.
You are my family.
You are my family.
You are the face of love.
The face of love.
You are the face of God.
The face of God.
I hold you in my heart.
You in my heart.
You are a part of me.
A part of me.
You are the face of God.
The face of God.
You are the face of God.
Eres la luz de Dios.
I hold you in my heart.
Eres la cara del amor.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face
Tu
of
sei la luce di Dio.
You are the face
You
of
are the
God.
face of God.
You are the face
Tu
of
es
God.
l'image de Dieu.
You are the face
You
of
are the face of God.
You are the face
Tu
of
sei
God.
la luz de Dios.
You are the face
You
of God.
are the face of God.
You are the face
Tu
of God.
es خدایی.
You are the face
You
of God.
are the face of God.
You are the face of God.
Eres la luz de Dios.
You are the face of God.
Good morning and welcome to Spiritual Life Center, a church that love is building.
Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
Let us pray. As Jesus proclaimed, we affirm for ourselves, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me because the Lord has anointed me to bring good news to the suffering and afflicted. He has sent me to comfort the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives. He has sent me to tell those who mourn that the time of God's favor has come. Loving Spirit, we celebrate that the time of your favor is eternally present and available to each person. May we open our eyes, our ears, our hands, and our heart, dear Lord, as you guide us on the path of your loving, joy-filled ways. And so it is. Amen.
Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. To see you high and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing holy, holy, holy. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. To see you high and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing holy, holy, holy. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. To see you high and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. I want to see you.
I bless the world with my peaceful heart. Looking at the world today, it's tempting to feel discouraged or even angry at the discord and disagreement that seem to surround me. I pause then to remember that no matter what is going on in my environment, peace begins with me. I breathe deeply and relax, softening my heart, calming my emotions, and easing my mind. I heed the words of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who said, "Peace is not merely a distant goal we seek, but a means by which we arrive at that goal." These inspiring words keep me centered and committed to remaining peaceful. No matter how I choose to engage the world around me, I rise above anger and strife, and I embody peace. The way I live my life tells a lot about my character. Do my words express peace and love? Do my actions convey kindness and consideration? There is love in my heart for all humankind. I share this love freely, regardless of appearance or of what is happening in the news or in my surroundings. Choosing to see and live from the truth, I am always compassionate and peaceful in my dealings with others. It is so important to keep my thoughts and actions spiritually based, taking time to feed my soul so I am able to stay rooted in my belief that peace for all is possible. In this way, I'm doing my part to bring the world peace. I feel blessed to be a part of this process. Every day, countless people spend time in prayer. As I join with them, our hearts and minds are linked. I hold sacred space for peace and well-being for the entire world and all of its people. Harmonizing energy radiates from deep inside me, enfolding the world in peace. This same peaceful presence lives in the hearts of all people. Together, we hold a powerful vision that heals the world. And now let's take that moment so that we can together hold a powerful vision that is now healing our world. I bless the world as I pray with others. The power of prayer amplifies the peace in my heart that radiates as a blessing to all humanity. And I ask you to join with me as I affirm peace in my heart, peace in my relationships, peace in the world. I feel oneness with all. I express deep gratitude for the inner presence that binds me to my global family. Peace in my heart contributes to the peace in my world. And now I invite you to join together with peace and with love in your heart and with the prayer that Jesus wrote. The Our Father, let us join together in singing and praying the Our Father.
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen.
If just one person believes in you, deep enough and strong enough believes in you, hard enough and long enough, before you knew it, someone else will think, if he can do it, I can do it, making it two. And if two whole people believe in you, deep enough and strong enough believe in you, hard enough and long enough, there's bound to be some other person who believes in making it a threesome, making it three. People you can say believe in me. And if three whole people why not four? And if four whole people, why not more? And more, and more. And when all those people believe in you, deep enough and strong enough, believe in you, hard enough and long enough, it stands to reason you yourself will start to see what everybody sees in you. And maybe even you can believe in you too.
Nancy, that was wonderful. And it's well that we all remember that at any given time, we can be that person to believe in someone who is in need of support. One of the most important questions we can ask ourselves is, why am I here? But I was being asked a different question. Why are you leaving? It was some years ago, after Lenore and I had completed a dozen years at a church that we started up in Texas. So as not to surprise the congregants unexpectedly, we sent a letter out explaining that we would be departing within a couple of months. And the question that I received in a phone call the next morning was from a friend who happened to be a district judge and was on the mailing list. And he had a Texan way of posing the question. He said, well, Ron, did they run you out of town? Did you cut a better deal? Or did they catch you doing something? Well, after a good laugh, I assured him none of the above, that we had felt the guidance letting us know that our work in Texas was completed and that we would be returning to a ministry in Michigan. But that question, why am I here, is so important. So let me ask you, why are you here? Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., whose birthday we celebrate tomorrow, knew why he was here. In his own words, he came to carry the gospel of freedom so that this nation will rise up and live out its creed that all men are created equal, that one day sons of former slaves and the sons of former slaveholders will sit down together at the table of brotherhood. He knew clearly why he was here. Jesus knew why he was here. He said, I have come that they may have life and have it abundantly. And as in our opening prayer, Jesus said in the 4th chapter of the Gospel of Luke, that God had anointed him to bring good news to the suffering, comfort to the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, to tell those who mourn that the time of God's favor has come. Jesus was certain of his mission. We know that our mission here in this earthly experience is to gain that higher consciousness, what we call Christ consciousness. But before we even address why we are here on earth, let's begin with an easier question. Why are you here this morning? Why are you tuning in? Because the truth is that by being here, you are exposing yourself to a spiritual path that can transform your life. if you choose to pursue it. There were two young men who were active in a complaint department at a department store. Now, they had come together. One was a white man, one was an African American man, and they had worked together for almost a year. And it was very difficult because they were not prepared for the angry responses, for the fits of violence even on the part of customers who didn't get the answers they wanted. They were not prepared for the belligerent attitude and manner of people. People wanted satisfaction. They didn't want to wait. And the strain began to show on both of these young men. They were exhausted. They were irritable. They went out for coffee one day. Now, they had tried several things. They had tried fighting back to the customers. That didn't work. They had tried cold indifference. That didn't work either. They had tried just being patient. But somehow that didn't seem to work. One day, while they were there with coffee, they saw a sign on the wall that said, "Be kind. Everyone you meet is fighting a tough battle." They talked about it. They began a new approach. They set the tone and they kept the initiative. They would smile no matter what. They would focus on sympathy, friendship, understanding, courteous service. They joked with people. They connected with people. They allowed themselves to like people. You know, before long, they saw that the tension eased, the people were more relaxed, and they started to see people with problems rather than people being the problems. And one day, one of the other young men joked to the other and said, "You know, we've begun to see a whole new class of people here." Well, they became that whole new class of people themselves. One of the fascinating ideas that Dr. King promoted was the concept of a beloved community. Dr. King described the beloved community as a culture of peace, a society of loving kindness and divine justice, where people of all shapes, sizes, backgrounds, cultures, and colors live together in a symphony of brotherhood and sisterhood. It's a divine idea in the mind of God, a dynamic spiritual vision. I believe that we, each one of us, is called upon to further this vision of the beloved community to the best of our ability, that it become our own personal mission. There was a man more than a century ago, back in the 1890s, by the name of Whitcomb Jensen. He was an important man. He was appointed to be the person developing the transportation system for the entire city of Chicago. Now, he was involved in this. He was right in the midst of this, working night and day. And one time, a friend came to him and said, "You know, my father is dealing with an issue, and I'm wondering if you can help in some way." He said, "You see, my father tries to put on his shoes, but he has arthritis. And the hooks that they used in shoes at that time just aren't, he isn't able to use his fingers to pull it together. And he can't get his shoes on, which means he can't walk. Is there anything you can do, Whitcomb?" Well, Whitcomb Jensen looked at the situation. He was overwhelmed with work, but he started working on it in his free time. And he developed something that we know today as being a zipper. And he attached it to these shoes and gave it back to his friend, who was so overwhelmed because his dad now was able to use the zipper to pull up his shoes and make them stay in place. Now, Whitcomb Jensen didn't live long enough to see how important the zipper became in our society, not only in clothing, but in all other kinds of items as well. But it's interesting to consider when God smiles down upon the life of Whitcomb Jensen, what do you think was more important? Whether he developed that transportation system for the city of Chicago, or his development of the zipper that has blessed countless numbers of persons ever since. One characteristic of the beloved community is a willingness to choose a playful spirit. Life is often presenting us the opportunity to smile. I was at Costco the other day with Lenore, and while she was off on her thing, I was walking around. I picked up a couple items I wanted. Then I really felt like getting off my feet. So I decided to look for a chair. Well, the only chair I could find was where they were selling chairs. There was a whole row of chairs. So I found a comfortable chair down at the end and sat down. Well, within a couple of minutes, this man came up and sat in the chair next to me. And I turned to him and I said, "Feels good to get off your feet, doesn't it?" He said, "Well, actually, I'm looking to purchase a chair." Somehow I thought that was hilarious. I just assumed anybody who was sitting there would be like me, wanting to just relax. You can live the beloved community in your life. You can live it in your family, with your friends and groups. Because when you're in alignment with your spiritual source, you will be guided to those events, those activities, those connections with people that bring out the highest and best. It's comparable to when a farmer plants a seed. You see, already in the seed, there is a divine idea of what that seed is to become. It merely needs the right conditions in the form of soil, water, and nutrition. Well, in a similar way, there's a seed of peace and nonviolence within each one of us. There's a seed of economic equality, a seed of racial justice. And we need only the right conditions for all of this greater good to express. Those right conditions are our minds embracing the intent that they should express in the world around us. Back in 1968, there was a woman who entered the city of Jerusalem. She was a Palestinian woman. 20 years before, in 1948, when the Israeli people had entered Jerusalem, forced the Palestinian people to leave, took over the city. Well, this woman had been living in an apartment with her husband, and she went to look for that apartment. She found it. She went up to the door, knocked on the door, and an Israeli lady, polite lady, answered, said, "What can I do for you?" She explained, I lived here until 20 years ago. This was my home in this apartment. And I wondered if I might just look around. And the Israeli lady said, "Please come in, make yourself at home. Would you like coffee?" And they sat down and talked. And the lady explained that, when we had to leave, it was in such a hurry that there was some gold pieces that I had left under the floorboards in the kitchen area. Is it possible we might look at this? I'd be happy to share that with you. And she said, "Oh no, anything that's there is yours." Well, they located it, pulled it up, and sure enough, there were gold pieces there. Well, the lady insisted, "You take those are yours." Well, they talked and they enjoyed one another's company. There's been so much strife between the Palestinian and Israeli people that it didn't show up between them at all. They were determined to be friends. Well, the Israeli lady invited her to come back, and they went on for several weeks. And they got to know one another. They were friends. They enjoyed one another's company. And then one day, the Palestinian lady said to the Israeli woman, "I want to tell you something that I have never told anyone. You see, when we were forced out 20 years ago, we had to leave in such a hurry that my husband and I each raced out thinking that our 3-month-old son was with the other. And it turned out neither one of us had our son. And we have been just in despair ever since. My husband passed on 5 years ago, but it continues to haunt me." And right about that time, there was a young 20-year-old man who walked in the door. He was in the service of the Israeli army. And the Israeli woman said, I want you to meet your son. This is your son. When we arrived here, we were looking for a place to stay. We found this. We were told by the government that we could be here. But we encountered a young boy, a 3-month-old, and we turned the young man over to the authorities, and they said, "Well, you can keep him if you like." And he has been our son ever since. But now he's our son. And those two women became so close that the Israeli woman invited the Palestinian woman to move in with her. She said, we share the same son. We enjoy one another's company. Why don't we live together? Bless one another. And they did. Well, that's the kind of beloved community that is possible for all of us. Other characteristics of a beloved community include a profound respect and acceptance of all people. And it's not just a tolerance of other people. It's not just putting up with one another's differences. It's actually enjoying people despite their differences. There was a teacher and former U.S. Senator from California by the name of S.I. Hayakawa. And half a century ago, he did a study of the people in the Chicago transit system. And he found that certain of the attendants, of the conductors, would get wrapped up in rage. They would clang their bells. They would shout at others. And yet the same conditions could confront others who would treat the whole situation with patience, calm, whistling right through the experience. And he marveled how different people respond to different conditions, different situations. Now we can allow each other to respond as each of us will. But at the same time, we can be open to accepting the people, even those who are not like ourselves in how they handle their lives. We can allow others to believe what they will, that they have the right to their own opinions without coercion or any need to believe like I do. And we can accept that situations in life, as difficult as they might be, can be opportunities. Ralph Waldo Emerson, the great writer, philosopher, said something that especially applies for these times. He said, "Bad times have a scientific value. These are occasions a good learner would not miss." And it's true. With everything that's going on in our nation right now, in our country, with all the conflict, with all the difficulties, with all the different ways we see things, we can see that it is an opportunity for all of us to come together, to grow, to bless one another despite it all. We can focus on what we can give instead of necessarily what I can get. We can be like the banyan tree. You know, the banyan tree is always giving. It is a unique fig tree that's not native to this country at all. It flourishes in a tropical environment, but the more it gives, the stronger it becomes. It expands by putting its roots into the ground, and new roots, new leaves, new trees come up in other areas, and it produces more and more. There was a banyan tree that was given to Thomas Edison back a century and a half ago in Florida. It was 4 feet tall at the time. It now has grown to the point where it covers 400 square feet. This is in Florida, where it has been growing around Fort Myers. We can provide support of one another. That can be our goal. And the goal of Spiritual Life-Centered Church is to be that beloved community. On TV, a few days ago, a cable newscaster introduced a woman who had been a white supremacist. He asked her why she had become one and how she became convinced to no longer believe in that. She said that she had felt alone in life, that she didn't belong anywhere, that no one included her, no one wanted her. She said if someone at that time had tried to argue with her intellectually and convince her her beliefs were wrong, it would only have reinforced them. Because she found in the white supremacy movement a brotherhood or sisterhood or collection of people who could get excited about something that they were pursuing. She felt she belonged. But then in time, she encountered a group of loving persons who reached out to her, made her feel welcome, included her, let her know that she belonged with them. And she came to see thereafter that her former beliefs of white supremacy were totally in opposition to the life of inclusion that she was living. as you choose to enlist yourself in the beloved community and embrace these principles and practices, you take a stand for truth. You take a stand for life, a stand leading to the healing of our world.
There's a place in your heart, and I know that it is love, and this place could be brighter than tomorrow. And if you really try, you'll find there's no need to cry. In this place, you'll feel there's no hurt or sorrow. There are ways to get there if you care enough for the living. Make a little space, make a better place. Heal the world, make it a better place. For you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me. If you want to know why, there is love that cannot lie. Love is strong, it only cares of joyful giving. If we try, we shall see. In this bliss we cannot feel fear or dread. We stop existing and start living. Then it feels that always love's enough for us growing. So make a better world, make a better place. Heal the world, make it a better place. For you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me. Heal the world, make it a better place. For you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me. Make a better place for you and for me. Make a better place for you and for me.
Now, we are delighted that you have shared this experience today with us. We hope it has provided you a measure of inspiration and some insights to further your spiritual journey. We invite you to bless this service and your spiritual path by joining with us in our prayer of sharing. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And we welcome your support, your spiritual support, your prayers, and if possible, your financial support as well. And if you are able to support Spiritual Life Center Church with your financial gift this morning, there are three ways that you can do so. The first is through online giving, through our secure website, www.slctroy.com/give. The second way is to mail a check or money order to 41340 Fox Run Road, number 106, Novi, Michigan, 48377, addressing it to Spiritual Life Center. Excuse me. The third way is to call with credit card information for a one-time charge. You can call my cell, which is 248-925-6214. And if you're joining us for one of your first times, we are delighted that you are with us, and we want to welcome you and invite you to join our email list by visiting our website, www.slctroy.com. And in the upper right corner, you'll see Join Email List. And that will tell you just how to insert your email so that we can keep you informed of events happening here at Spiritual Life Center. If you have a prayer request, we love to support prayer requests. We get a number of prayer requests, and I'll tell you, there's a prayer energy that is very powerful here. We have a prayer team of 30 plus persons who will be praying daily over these. And then they're also sent on to Silent Unity, where they're prayed over for 30 days. If you have any prayer requests, you can send those to us at ronaldfscott@gmail.com. And we send your prayer request on to the prayer team as well as to Silent Unity. You also may, at any time during the week, call Silent Unity, and they will pray with you at 1-800-NOW-PRAY. Also, feel free to send your prayer requests to my phone number, 248-925-6214. We hope you will join us this coming Wednesday, January 20th at 7 p.m. on Zoom for a meditation, a wonderful meditation that Reverend Eileen will be providing. And following the meditation, we'll be gathering on Zoom, and the links will be sent to you within the next day or so. So be on the lookout for this email about the Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, January 20th, for a wonderful, peaceful, healing meditation that we can all be blessed by. Finally, we would like to invite you to our Zoom coffee hour at 11 o'clock or immediately following today's service. You should have received an email with a new link for this time of connection. If not, please contact us and we'll get that information to you. And now, please join us in our peace song and benediction.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let me walk with my family in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
And now as you go forth, know that the light of God surrounds you, the love of God enfolds you.
The Lord bless thee and keep thee.
The power of God protects you.
The Lord make his face to shine upon thee, and be gracious unto thee.
The presence of God watches over you.
The Lord lift up his countenance upon thee, and grant thee peace.
Wherever you are, God is.
Amen. Amen.
Go your way rejoicing. All is truly well.